están, stop the car, stop the car.
Hello everybody and welcome to the IVRC's Japanese Touring Car Championship here from Autopolis. I'm Neil and I'll be commentating for you today once again, and yeah, looking forward to this race because last time out it was a very interesting affair indeed. It was at the Buriram circuit, Chang International, and yeah, it was really good racing in the end, so hopefully we see some of the same today. A very difficult circuit though, Autopolis, much more twisty and much less places where you can actually make an overtake work here, so we'll see actually how many overtakes we do get in the end. But yeah, back here again for the penultimate round of this championship. So the weight ballast is now 1 point equals 1 kilogram now, instead of what used to happen before, which is more than that. Can't remember quite how many exactly, but it was definitely more than that. Yeah, it was double. So yeah, points meant double that in kilograms, and that meant the weight you got. Now it's just normal, really. Just 1 point equals 1 kilogram. That's going to make the cars very similar, actually, here, because the championship is extremely close, especially between the top 4 at the moment. As meanwhile it is very close at the top of the times. Currently just going quickest there, 1:33 for Snowshutton Esports. And try and find who that actually was, because I'm not exactly familiar with everybody. Giovanni Santos, who took pole last round in his first attempt, but it was Carlos Frau who managed to take the win. So yeah, it was a little bit confusing because after the race, Mark Sturker took the win, obviously, as you saw, on the track he did anyway. And then after the race, there was penalties applied, and Carlos Frau ended up taking the win in the end. So yeah, good from him there to actually manage that. Trying to work out who's actually leading at the moment. I believe it might be Christian Alvarez, who has only competed at Sepang so far. Around that Bernard Rotes took pole and the win. Not the only man to do so, of course. Sven managed it in round 1 at Akiyama, but Bernard Rotes managed that at Sepang, the only round that Christian Alvarez has actually taken part in just yet. Get the names in. Yeah, there he is, Christian Alvarez. We've got 12 of us here today. Obviously that's me, so I'm still going to be driving. But yeah, Giovanni Santos just goes to the top again. Quite close. It was very close. 3 cars separated by not much at all, but it's just extended out a little bit from there now. From the Nissan at the top, I think that's Carlos Frau in 4th position. In his Lexus, sorry. He's driving the Motul Lexus. Also a Motul GTR. Making things a little bit confusing for everybody. Try and find the Motul GTR and find out who's driving it for everyone. There's a lot of entries on this list and difficult. The Motul Honda was driven by Martin Jacek, but he's not here today, I don't think. However, I can't seem to find a Motul Honda. Sorry, a Motul Nissan. In the Lexus. Who's in that? Well, it doesn't look much like a Motul car, does it? Really? To the end of qualifying then here, just about. The Kitsune NSX, that's Bernard Motes there. Team Bernie orange livery, only down in 6th position, which is not great from him. Santos is leading the standings, mainly because not got much ballast at all, actually. Hasn't finished a race yet, so he's not got any ballast. And then in 2nd position, Mark Stwerker, the Repsol, no, he's not 2nd. Might be. That's the Shadow GTR anyway. Not being run by any of the main runners. Christian Alvarez is driving it. Then it's Mark Stwerker, the first of the championship contenders, championship leader in fact, by 3 points to Motes. That is the Motul Blue NSX, and that is Martin Jacek, so he is here today. He's in 4th at the moment, good drive from him early on. There's Carlos Frau, winner from last time. We'll see if he can improve it as he comes up towards the line. In the final seconds of qualifying, 10 seconds remaining, can he jump himself up the order? Doesn't look like he can. He's going to stay in 5th. Motul GTR, driven by Manuel Alvarez. The Martin Jacek car just improves into 4th position. The other NSX, Ven Express, goes into 7th, pushing Bernard Motes down even further, but can he jump back up here late on? That would be important for him. And he does, jumps up to 7th place, but he can't really do much from there. That's Laszlo Tegelis there in 9th position. But all the others. So, yeah, I want to know where Pablo Lopez and Jesus Chirinos are, really. They are Jans, not in the running for this. Chirinos is in the Ven Express car, so that teaches me, and Lopez doesn't look like he's here. Fair enough. He just can't make it as that Motul Blue Martin Jacek driven NSX goes 4th. A trio of Motul cars actually, they're 4th, 5th and 6th place. It's Giovanni Santos who takes the pole position away from Mark Stwerker. Christian Alvarez in 3rd position. He's creating a bit of a buffer between Stwerker and Frau. Don't forget, next round, it is the championship finale in 3 weeks' time, 21 days, on a Saturday, of course, as it always is here, the Japanese Touring Championship. It's at Laguna Seca, the only trip outside of Asia takes us to the final round at Laguna Seca. That is a no-ballast race, as was the first race, won by Sven Gilhold. It's a no-ballast race, the final one. Yeah, this is round 6, Autopolis, in case you don't recognise the circuit. I wouldn't have recognised the circuit, it's a bit of a confusing one. A long track as well. The lap times in the 130s, so I say long, it's just a lot of corners really. Many, 19 on the menu today. Final little flick right at the end of the lap. Yeah, it's pretty much difficult everywhere here, to be honest. It is a difficult circuit. Everyone just comes into the pit lane. Most people do anyway. Everyone, pit lane, so hopefully we'll be able to get into warm-up in a moment. Nope. Worker just crashes into his garage. Pretty much. All are in the box, I think, now. Cycle through everybody. Look, everybody is in their box. Yeah, we're going to be taking another break in a moment, and then just a quick 3-minute one, and then we'll be back with the rest of warm-up after that qualifying session. But concerning for Motes that he's so far down the order, it looks like it's going to be a top 3 fighting out this championship, given that Pablo Lopez is not here just yet. Mark Stwerker's leading the championship by 3 points to Bernard Motes. Stwerker's on 79, Motes therefore the Polish man on 76. Then Carlos Frau is a further 6 points back after gaining a whopping 13 on Mark Stewart last round at Buriram. So yeah, that's all close. And Pablo Lopez is only 6 points behind his compatriot there. So it's disappointing to see that he's not here today. Well, not yet anyway. Hopefully he does turn up. When Jesus Tyrannos is here, he's 29 points off of the championship leader Mark Stewart. So he's got a bit of work to do, and he's got a lot of work to do from all the way down there in the Ven Express car. Here we are in warm-up. Not sure if we're going to be doing the whole 15 minutes or so, but we will find out soon enough what will be happening. But yeah, as I said, I'm going to be taking a short break now, just in preparation for this race. And yeah, I'll be back in a few moments' time once you've seen the countdown time once again, and then this beautiful trailer we have for the JTC. You'll be seeing all that here in a moment. Then in roughly 4 minutes' time, I'll be back with the rest of warm-up and indeed the race here at Autopolis.
Stop the car, stop the car.
Welcome back to the IVRC JTC Japanese Touring Championship here from Autopolis, where Giovanni Santos has taken the pole position away from Mark Sturcker and Christian Alvarez in the 15-minute qualifying session we had before the break. Now we're getting ready for what should be a really good race, because we had a fantastic one at the Chang International, and we're going to have another fantastic one here. It's back-to-back poles for Giovanni Santos, something that we haven't seen so far in this JTC season. He's the only repeat pole taker. Ben Gilhold, Nicola Vilanco, Unai Aguado, Bernard Mrotz, and now Santos. The only one to take two poles in a row. He didn't take the win back in Thailand. He probably should have done in the end, but he didn't manage it. I think he disconnected from the race, and that was a big shame for him, because he was set to not only win the race but annihilate the field, probably by lapping everyone as well, if we're completely honest. So he would have been absolutely heartbroken by that one. It looks like we're about to load in the race. We were just waiting for Angel Gonzalez to join the session and all of that. And it looks like now he has. So we're ready with 13 cars on the grid for a great race here at Autopolis. Twisty circuit, as I mentioned, and difficult one at that. But we've still got 13 quite high-class drivers ready and waiting. Santos on the pole for the second time this season. Can he convert to become the third pole to race winner in a row? And that would create the 6th different race winner from the 6 races we've had so far. And there could be post-race penalties applied, by the way, for any incidents. There are stewards and whatever, so we will be wary of those if we do see any incidences throughout the 43 laps we have here at Autopolis. Here's Mark Sturcker. He's already on the grid, just waiting for Santos mainly. Santos doesn't look like he's here. It doesn't look like Santos has loaded on the grid, I'm afraid. Now where is he? That's the question. Oh, he's there. Oh no, that's him up front. Sorry. Alerting people when I shouldn't have been. Sorry about that. Can't select him in them. Is that Santos? He's starting at the end of the pit lane. I wonder if that's a penalty. Could be. Not entirely sure. Oh, there's a bit of contact going on. Mark Sturcker slowing down massively as well now. I wonder if we've had a bit of an issue here. We're going to have to restart. We are indeed. So we'll just try again. Give Santos another attempt to get on the grid this time. Hopefully things are working well for him. 200 kilometers around here, and it could define the championship in the end, going into the finale at Laguna Seca. The points are a little bit different to normal. Everyone here, if they get to the end, will be scoring points, because they go down to 15th position in the end. 25 for a win, 20 for second. Third is 16 points. Will any of the championship contenders get that here today? Hopefully they will. Santos, Sturcker, Alvarez, Jacek, Brau, and then the Moto Nissan. His name escapes me at the moment, but he'll come back to me soon enough, I'm sure. Can't Lopez, can it? Could be. No, Manuel Alvarez, I have to remember that one. There's Bernard Mrotz, all the way down to 7th. That is not good for him. In a 14-car grid, I think, or a 13-car grid. A healthy grid, that's for sure. Great to see. Might even be 12, but somebody may be starting from the pit lane in the end. But yeah, as me and Thomas Ratchke, who were commentating for you 2 weeks ago, we really do like this this orange and multicoloured at the back car. And yeah, there is a man at the back of and it is Thomas. So that's not great from the German, who was commentating with me last time out. I'll say as well though, for all that I do like Moats' livery, Santos's looks very stealthy and menacing indeed, doesn't it? Especially on the Honda. I don't think it would really work on any of the other cars, but on the Honda, hey, see the black Nissan in the background? Doesn't really work, does it? In my opinion, the shadow entry from Alvarez. In Alvarez. He's got Jacek behind him. Well, I wonder if he's related to Manuel Alvarez. That would be an interesting stat indeed, but maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I'm not entirely sure. They just get their way through turn 11. That's the hairpin at the middle of the circuit before they plunge downhill towards turn 12 and 13. Sweeping corners these, where it gets a little bit more tricky and narrow and intricate through 14, 15, 16 and 17, and then there's a long sweeping 18. And a little flick at 19 to finish the lap. I wonder if I can get a backwards facing camera here. Not there. No, not on the Honda. No, 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 no. This is not what I came to see. Oh dear. We'll leave it there and abandon those cameras. Yeah, that's we didn't want to see that at all. As, yeah, they line up now. Looks like we're getting into formation then. 43 laps of racing here around Autopolis. It's going to be a plunge down towards turn number 1. Who is going to take the plunge and take first position? There's the final flick at 19. Looks like Alvarez just all over the curb there in the Nissan. All three manufacturers represented here in the first 3 rows. Now we are ready to go racing here back in Japan for the Japanese Touring Championship. The penultimate round, potentially championship deciding round as we're underway again. Santos hits the gas. Stroker, not quite such a good start for him on this occasion, and Jacek looks like he's trying to get down the inside. Contact with him and Alvarez. Stroker loses their position to his fellow Nissan. He's going to try and get that straight back though as they go through the kink at turn 2. Now down towards braking again for turn 3. He's done well though. It's a conservative start for the championship leader, and that's all he needed to do at this stage. Carlos Frau has made up a position on his or state where he is, excuse me, in 5th position. There he is. Jacek is looking very racy right now. He's not got many points in this season at all. He's only competed in 1 round back at round 4 it was. Frau definitely looked like he's struggling already as Santos is absolutely off. Look at this though. Bernard Moats in the thick of it, in the thick of some battles. That's Alvarez, Manuel Alvarez on the outside and off the road there, or the shadow car. I believe that's Christian Alvarez. So he's dropped way back down the order. The Stroker's up into 2nd now, Jacek 3rd, and Carlos Frau also moves up a position. But Bernard Moats really needs to start making a move here. Otherwise he's just going to end up staying in the minor places. This is a tricky section and a tricky place to make it work round the outside. Nothing doing on this occasion for Moats. Now he's under pressure from Chirinos here in the Ven Express NSX. Moats trying to make up a position of his own around the long sweeping turn 18 and now 19. It's a good exit, it's a good run. Going to try and pull to the outside. Sorry, I'm cycling down the wrong way. The camera's here. Up the front of the order, it is all single file, but down here, not quite so simple. Manuel Alvarez gets overtaken then by Bernard Moats. And Moats is through, 6th position for him, and now he's going to try and chase down 5th placed car in front of him, who is Angel Gonzalez. He's made a fantastic start here. Joined late in the end, and on lap 2, he's already up to 5th position. Martin Jacek not looking too bad on the back of Mark Stroker at the moment. These two Germans are going to fight this one out while they watch the Brazilian Santos go up the road here. I'll say that. They're almost right back with them now. Going to ride on board here with the NSX for a little bit because it's absolutely fantastic to see this final sector in all its glory. This is turn 12. Kind of sweeping through here. have to play with the throttle a little bit. Wish we could see the inputs of these guys as they go now through a little bit of a tighter section at 13. The line's just a little bit wrong there for Jacek, but he's just corrected it. Now the uphill left and right. Sorry, right and left, and then it's going to go left again. Through 17, and then 18. This is the sweeper. A long, long hairpin, and then a flick at 19. There it is. Over the line once more then. In the slipstream here for Jacek, and with that extra weight that Stwerker's got, he's really struggling for straight line speed. Now here we go with Jacek. Down the inside he goes. Oh, difficult on the brakes, squirming towards the apex. He really triangles off the corner, and now Stwerker gets up the inside through the kink at turn 2. The two of them give each other a lot of room here. And now down under brakes again, a lot stronger from the motor car, but he's gone wide. And he's going to have to try that one again. Rotes is still 6th position as someone in the background came into the pit lane. I think it was Chirinos in the Ben Express NSX. I'll go down the order to find out. We'll soon find out. Well, nobody's in the pit lane at the moment. That is Christian Alvarez. That is Chirinos, who is seeing his championship aspirations go away from him. He needs to gain points on all of his championship. Well, he needs to gain points on Stwerker and Rotes today if he wants to remain in the fight at the final round at Laguna Seca. In the background, oh, and off the road goes Alvarez. Not good for him. He's being caught now by Ratchka in the kind of McDonald's-looking car almost. Interesting line there from Jacek, trying to get 2nd place away from Stwerker. Carlos Frau is trying to fend off the other NSX in behind him, Angel Gonzalez, who's made a fantastic start in this race. He really has done very well in this one. Over the line go Manuel Alvarez and Laszlo Teglis, Hungarian driver in the Tevez LC500. It's not actually quite up to date anymore. You can't blame the mod, by the way, but got a new one now. The LC500 is no longer in circulation for the Super GT guys, but the Toyota Supra is its replacement, of course, but no Toyotas here. Fine, because this is one of the very few places you can get GT500 racing for this kind of quality. Certainly here at the IVRC, it really is a high standard. A championship coming down to the wire, that's for sure. Now, Martin Jacek could do Carlos Frau and Brennan Rotes a big favour here by overtaking Mark Stwerker. We look now from the helicopter. Wants everyone to know he's German, especially by putting his country flag on the roof. In a nice looking livery actually, the blue motor car, which is not something we don't often see. He's getting very close. There are so many different ways to take this S's section in the final sector, but only a few ways which are actually the correct ones. These two have taken 2 totally different ways on that occasion, but they're pretty much equal. Look at the exit, look at the overspeed the Honda has got down the inside. This time, surely, the Motul NSX has got it. Can he deal with it under brakes, though? This was the problem he had last time. He couldn't deal with the speed on the brakes, and it looks like he's gone wide again. It's a carbon copy of the move he made just 2 laps ago. That's Stwerker down the inside again, braking late, and this time he's overcooked it again. Stwerker defends on the inside, and he manages to hold on to the position. A great job there from Mark Stwerker, 3-time touring car champion here at IVRC. And yeah, showing why with its robust defence of 2nd place. On lap 5 at the moment, and Santos continues to run away with the race lead. We'll just give him a bit of airtime here as he laps Christian Alvarez already down the hill towards turn 12. But we won't be worrying about him too much throughout this race if he keeps his nose clean, which he should do, all out in front. The battle is really on. here for second place, and it's Mark Sturker, the heaviest car on the field, holding everybody up. He's only heaviest by 3 kilos, but he seems to be dealing with those 3 kilos a little bit better than his Polish counterpart. That's nearly a huge save from Martin Jacek. I've no idea how he's kept that pointing straight, but he has lost quite a lot of time by doing it, because it was quite a moment. And now Carlos Frau, who we're riding on board with now, is going to try and take advantage. Can he, though? Because he's got 70 kilograms on board. Martin Jacek hasn't got a kilogram. He did compete back at Suzuka at round 3. However, he DNF'd the race, so he didn't score any points. So he has got 70 kilograms lighter than Carlos Frau, who we're riding on board with now. And he's got 79 more kilos than Mark Sturker in front. Sorry, 79 less. I think it says 79 more. He's got 79 less kilos. Oh, I'm very close down here at the braking zone. But little hairpin opens itself out, as these corners so often do. Such a sweeping circuit, such a driver's circuit. Now look at Jacek, turn 11, big opportunity at the hairpin. He thought about it, he's good under brakes, he's stopping less car I suppose, but he is good under brakes. And now look, there's no way through here though, surely. Sweeping corner this, and no way through. Meanwhile in the background, Tegler's trying to overtake Alvarez. That's Manuel Alvarez, who is ahead now of Christian Alvarez. Not sure if they're related. I'll check their nationalities actually, just to make sure. Oh, I can't actually check Manuel's, but I believe that Christian is Venezuelan. He is. There we go. Done a lot of racing here at IVRC, that's for sure. Never managed to pick up a win in a single event or a championship. Meanwhile, Mark Sturker under pressure once again. Now, can Jacek pull it off this time? It's a very narrow corner entry to turn 1 on that occasion for Jacek, and he manages to pull in front of Sturker. This is the closest he's got so far. Sturker, he's going to have to re-overtake quickly here, and I don't think he's going to be able to manage it. He can't. So Martin Jacek into second place, but Sturker stronger through the corners, and he's hit Jacek. He's hit him, and now Jacek spills in front of the field again. Angel Gonzalez has to avoid him, but straight away around the outside through that cambered corner. Prize Jacek. Well, I feel like Sturker will be getting a penalty for that one, because that looked a bit naughty to me. As now Carlos Frau, having got into third position, he's going for second now, into the hairpin at turn 11. Very close, side by side as they fall away down the hill now into turn 12. He's got the outside line though. Very close between the two championship rivals. Round the outside for Carlos Frau. He's going to attempt it. This would be absolutely spectacular if he can do it in turn 11 and 12. Oh, he's done it. He has done it. He's got a wheel on the grass, but he's done it around the outside at turn 12 and 13. That is absolutely phenomenal from Carlos Frau. And now he is into second position. Mark Sturker loses a position, then regains one, and then he loses one again. Goodness me. Rob on lap 8 here. It looks like it's actually lap 7, but that doesn't matter. Oh, Sturker into the wall. Sturker straight into the wall. I'm not sure what happened there at all. It looked like it could have been a hardware failure. Possible hardware there. Big problem for Mark Sturker. Bodywork damage. Championship leader in big trouble. Huge trouble for Mark Sturker. Huge trouble. Deary me, that could be terrible news for the championship leader. So Bernard Moritz moves up to 5th position, and Carlos Frau could be leading the championship after all this. Sturker's surely going to be in the pit lane after this lap, because that was a hard hit into the wall. Mark Sturker, championship leader, in the wall. And he's going to have a big job to recover this one now. A huge job on his hands. And a possible penalty as well for turning Martin Jacek, who we're currently watching, trying to chase down his mortal teammate, Carlos Frau, of course. Wow. Spectacular racing from Carlos Frau, and then spectacular crash for Mark Stwerker, I'm afraid. They come around the final couple of corners now. These four very close in proximity. Where is... Oh, he's really struggling. Oh, he's on the curb. He's kind of stuck there. 9th position at the moment for Stwerker. This is going to be his mandatory pit stop, we think. Or I think, anyway. He's going to repair this damage now. He's going to drop well down the order. Possibly even into last position. There he is, into the pit lane. There is Jesus Chirinos, and he's not going to be easy to overtake when he gets there. Thomas Ratchka could get him. That's Santos' teammate, by the way. Pedro Correa, just ahead of Christian Alvarez. They're both lapped, I think. I think these two are both lapped. Oh, and there we go. Alvarez gets through pretty nice and easily in the end. Correa down in a position, and they have been lapped. There's Carlos Frau and Martin Jacek in the background. Nearly 1/4 of a way through this race now. You see those 5. Where's Ango got? Sorry, yeah, there's Manuel Alvarez. He looks like he's had a bit of an issue in this race. There is Mateus Machado, who we haven't spoken about so far this race. He's in 8th, ahead of Jesus Chirinos, then Thomas Ratchka, and then Mark Stwerker, who is still in the pit lane. He could be overtaken by these two. He could be in dead last position. Here come the final runners in this race. And is Mark Stwerker going to be in last position? Yes, he is. Oh no, he's just out in front. He's just out in front. 12th position for him. So he's going to be only gaining a very few amount of points in this race. 12th position gets him 4 points. Whereas his main championship rival now, Carlos Frau, is going to be gaining 20. That's a 16-point gain and a 7-point swing in favour of Carlos Frau. Is it going to stay that way though? Because he has company as Frau. 3 podiums now this season, including the race win last week, or 2 weeks ago. He's given that post-race after a penalty to Stwerker. He's won the WEC in 2 different classes as well. The GTE class in 2019, the LMP2 class in 2020, the shortened season. He also won the F3 World Cup last year. Is he going to add a JTC title to his resume? It will be a big win for him. Going to need to take on Bernard Roets and formerly Mark Stwerker, who we can see right in front of him at the moment. I believe that's him anyway. I think it is. They come through turn 18. And it is indeed Mark Stwerker, his main championship rival, who he will be 7 points ahead of if things stayed as they are. Championship leader Mark Stwerker, 1 lap down, and he's doing it again there. Big problem for Stwerker here. He's having some hardware problems now. Big hardware problems for Stwerker. 1/4 of the way through this race, and we've had such big drama already. A fascinating championship ready to unfold now. It's all going to come down to Laguna Seca, and I'm sure we've got many more twists and turns in this race to come. That is for sure. Going on lap 11 at the moment. Giovanni Santos still leads. Absolutely flying at the moment. He's not going to have any ballast today. He's not going to have any ballast next week either, because the ballast is gone in 3 weeks' time. I should have said next round, but there you go. And now Frau goes through. Oh, sorry, Frau lets through Jacek. So there you have it. Frau loses 4 points there. He's now only gaining 16, which would mean a 12-point gain and a 3-point championship lead for him. Or would it be his championship lead? Because this man, Burden Broats, is currently in 5th position. That would gain him 11 points on Sturka's 4. And a 7-point gain for him. He will be 4 points ahead. Of Sturka. Sturka will be 3rd in the championship as it stands. An incredible situation here. Truly incredible situation. Oh, and in the pit lane there is Pedro Correa. So that's not good news for him. Christian Alvarez now has a big job. He doesn't for himself, of course, but he's got any friends in the championship fight here. He may like to let through Sturka. He may like to defend from him. We'll wait and find out what happens, and we'll wait and see if Sturka has another hardware failure here, because he's had 2 now that I've seen. One which sent him spectacularly into the wall, and the second one was minor. He was able to save it. So this will be your championship leader if things were to end as they are now. If this is a 12-lap race, Burden Broats will be leading the championship by 1 point. Carlos Frau. And then a further 3 points back to Mark Sturka. You could not get it any closer. And that is why we love this series. Japanese Touring Championship. We're into the final sector now of lap 12. Santos already on his lap 13, as he is so far in front of the field. 20 seconds, we believe. Could be even more than that by this point as they round final corner. And there we go, 25 seconds is the margin. And you can see 2nd to 6th position is very close. Laszlo Teglas is holding on to these guys pretty well. There he is in the background in the Lexus. Looks like Martin Jacek's just getting away from Carlos Frau ever so slightly now. But this is the important battle, or the next important battle in terms of the championship. Massive well done to Angel Gonzalez, by the way, because he only joined in the race. He didn't qualify in that Roto 2 NSX. However, he's done a fantastic job in the race to get up to 4th position. The demise of others has probably helped him in this one, of course, but still a fantastic job from him to be able to manage that. So, it's all getting very close. Ropes is going to be looking over his shoulder as well as through his windscreen here in a moment. Gonzalez in front, Teglas behind. So important for the Team Bernie driver that he gets through here. Winner back in Sepang, of course, round 4, where he took pole position as well. Looks like they're all catching Santos here as well, actually. He had a problem somewhere. That gap was over 25 seconds before. It's down to 17 and a half. It's a pretty big swing, actually, in just 1 lap. Good 8 seconds, so a little bit momentary worry there for him. This is the important battle of P4. Burden Broats would really consolidate his championship lead here, or consolidate taking it anyway, by a further 2 points, giving him 3 points on Frau, 6 points on Sturka. Waiting to see if Sturka can make up any more positions in this race. Surely he can, and he's going to need to if he wants to revive his championship. We said at the start of the day it could be a championship deciding day, and it has proved to be so. There's more drama to come though. On board now with the orange NSX of Bernard Motes. Round 6 of the Japanese Touring Car Championship for the IVRC. An amazing championship coming to a head now in Japan. Santos begins to eke out his margin again. The gap between Alvarez and Struecker is not that big. We could be seeing a battle between those guys. Even though they're one lap down, they will still fight for this. Closest fight so far, still between Gonzalez, Motes and Teglas. 3 men from 3 different nationalities with 3 different objectives in this race. Gonzalez not complete regular in this series. He's not competed in every event anyway. What I really mean by that. Of course, Bernard Motes, second in the championship, has competed in every event. He hasn't finished all of them, retired at Suzuka, but he has at least turned up for all of them. And Teglas turning up quite a lot for these. He only missed the Fuji round back at round 2, but he scored points in all the ones he has competed in, and he's got 31 kilograms on board here today. Gonzalez has got 30 kilograms himself. He competed at the first 2 rounds, but hasn't competed since then. Well, the first 3, sorry, but he hasn't competed since then. 2nd place and a 10th at the end. So Teglas and Gonzalez have got exactly the same equipment now. There's Santos still leading, Jacek second, Brown third, and Motes trying to get 4th. Currently 5th, trying to get through. Here we go, onto the pit straight again, but when you've got almost double the ballast of the car in front, it does make things difficult. The slipstream is helping though, of course. And now, a bit of a defence from Gonzalez. A half defence. He pulls back to the racing line, though. And Motes is going to have to wait for another opportunity. Is he going to go for it turn 3? It's too far back and too risky this early. Is he going to do it in the pit stops? Don't forget, mandatory pit stop in this race. And that's where I think Struecker is going to make up some positions. I think he can get a top 10 here. Just not sure what the how far up the order you can really get. This is the battle for 10th at the moment. Thomas Ratchke and Christian Alvarez. And then in the background, championship leader Mark Struecker. Now you could get both of these. There's Jacek just in behind, but they're a lap ahead, don't forget. And Santos has lapped all 3 of these. So 9 cars on the lead lap at the moment. Could be less soon as Ratchke goes wide at turn 14 and 15. And now he's really out of shape. Christian Alvarez bumping him through this section, but he goes wide himself. They're both off. Oh no, they're not. There's a bit of lag going on. Oh no, there wasn't. It was a big issue for Ratchke. I think he's out of the race, as Christian Alvarez just followed him off the circuit, really. And now Mark Struecker has got 10th. So where does that change things? 6 points for him. Frau will be getting 10 more than him, so he will be beating him by a point. Motes will be getting 5 more than him, so he'll be 2 points in front. 3 cars separated by 2 points. And it looks like Motes is trying to get through now. He's really close. Look at this now. 3 cars separated by absolutely nothing. Gonzalez, Motes and Teglas. All very close together indeed. Thomas Ratchke is back on the circuit, by the way, in 12th position after that small excursion and laggy moment. Alvarez continues in 11th. That's where he was before, but he's got cars that were in between him. reversed. Sturka's now in front. This is a very important battle for Moats. He's currently leading the championship by just 1 point to Carlos Frau and 2 points over Mark Sturka, but he could extend it here. He could get an extra few, an extra 2 in fact. He'll be leading the championship by 3 points if he takes his position from Angel Gonzalez, who interestingly has 36 less kilograms, or 46 less, sorry, kilograms on board. It's a big difference, really. So how many more can Sturka get? He's got a long way to catch up. I reckon he's got a good 40 seconds to catch up to the next car, which is Manuel Alvarez. So he's sandwiched by the Alvarez family at the moment. I'm not sure if they are a family, but they share the same name. It's not the best presumption, I understand, but the only one I've got at the moment. Most just starting to lose a bit of time here. Gap's opening up to about 7 tenths, and then good corner or two, and he pulls a couple of tenths back. Down to 5 again. A little bit wide there from Gonzalez. A good exit from the Polish driver behind him. Closes things up once again. 3 tenths. Now we look from the helicopter, big slide from Rotes. Good save. Not as spectacular as Jacek's save earlier on, you understand, but a pretty good one nonetheless, and then a little bit loose again. Not enjoying the rear end of that Honda at the moment, I don't think. When is he going to take his pit stop? That's the question. We're nearly halfway. Oh, and as I say that, he's into the pit lane. Early commitment line there, as I'm sure these guys know about. And there's somebody else in the pit lane as well, I think, but not worry about those guys. So where's Mark Sturka? Here he is, just ahead of Martin Jacek. Now that Motor GTR he's chasing down hasn't been lapped yet. He is, well, quite a long way ahead. I have to say, it's at least 30 seconds for Sturka now, but I don't think he'll have to pit again. I do not think he will have to pit again. Here is the race leader, Giovanni Santos, the Brazilian driver, currently leading the race. Bernard Rotes has come out just ahead of Machado, that is, Mateus Machado, not entirely sure how to pronounce his name, but that's who he's come out ahead of. And he jumped these two. He was already ahead of Teglis, and he get ahead of Gonzalez. If he can do, that would allow him a 3-point lead heading into Laguna Seca. But the way it stands at the moment, if any 3 of Sturka, Rotes or Frau were to win Laguna Seca, they would automatically win the championship. There's nothing he can do. A win would take it. Gonzalez reacts. Now Gonzalez has reacted to that pit stop of Bernard Rotes. Into the box he goes. Here's Motes. I'm going to go on board with him now. Not there. There we go. He pulls away rapidly from Machado. Looks like he's made a bit of a mistake at some point. But here we are, on the front straight with Bernard Rotes. Battling for a championship, and he's got it. He's got it already. Surely this isn't pit... oh, it must be tyres for Gonzalez. That is a long stop. 19 laps in his first stint. It's going to be 24 in the second. But he's a long way back now. Even behind Kirinos in the Ven Express NSX, who's making a good recovery actually, and closing in on Mateus Machado, who is just up in front of him, and there he is. Santos still leads. Jacek has got 3 seconds over Frau, who's got a further 10 over Teglas, who needs to stop. But of those who stopped, Rotes and Gonzalez are quite far apart compared to where they were before. 18 seconds Rotes has gained, so it's probably tyres for the Spaniard. It's an interesting call. We haven't seen it work so far. We've only seen it once before, and it happened in Sepang. He was able to put some new tyres on, was Rotes, and was able to take the win in the end. So Rotes has elected not to do that ever again, though he did last round and it didn't really pay off for him. Penalty for Sturker obviously helped, but it didn't work out for him. And this time, he's gone for the no tyres. Angel Gonzalez has gone for the new ones though, that's the difference. However, he's lost time in his first lap. He's chasing down the man we're riding on board with at the moment, who's just cheering us. Still in the championship fight, but needs to gain at least 4 points on Mark Sturker and 1 point on Rotes. He needs to beat Rotes and gain 3 points on Sturker. He may do the first part, but probably not the second at this rate. Sturker probably won't be pitting again in this race though. That's the difference between these guys now. Because of that pit stop he had to make earlier on for damage, in case you weren't with us. He had a big crash on the front straight after what looked like a bit of a hardware controller failure. He had to pit, long pit stop in the end. Lost a lot of points and a lot of time, but he won't have to stop again. That's the only advantage he can take from that. He's made his pit stop. If he was planning on changing tyres, he's definitely not going to now. This would be one of the circuits where I would have thought tyres might actually make a good deal of difference, actually, given the amount of corners that are here. Just constantly twisting and turning. Especially in this final sector, as off the road in front, Manuel Alvarez. Ever so slightly running wide there. Now onto the front straight again. Pretty much a full lap on board there with Chirinos, who got his podium back in Suzuka. That's really put him on the map in terms of this championship. That's really why he's here with the front runners. Consistently around the top 5. For the first time since Okayama at the first round, he didn't finish in the top 5. That was a run of 3 races, which is good in this strength of field. Oh, and a big little spin, and a big spin now for Manuel Alvarez, who looks like he's going to lose 2 positions, because there is Angel Gonzalez in the background, and he is through. He did hold up just a little bit Jesus Chirinos, who managed to get up into 6th position. Gonzalez wasn't held up at all. Now he's the man on a mission. 13 seconds adrift from Rotes, who looks like he made a mistake a couple of laps ago. He's lost 6 seconds in 1 lap, pretty much. 21 laps to go for these guys when they get to the line, but they are over halfway now. Can't quite see the finishing straight just yet, but they're certainly heading in the right direction again. Guys, remaining focused for 43 laps in one go. 200 kilometres around Autopolis circuit, the Autopolis circuit. We're going to be going for 200 more here at Laguna Seca, or there at Laguna Seca. Our only trip away from Asia this season. complete the 1,400 kilometers of this wonderful Japanese Touring Car Championship. And it really has been wonderful. Just over an hour each race is here. Just over, or nearly 1 minute 40 lap here. This is going to be quite a long one. Well, compared to what it was at Chang anyway. Chang's got a high speed circuit, a lot of straights. And a bit of a high speed section in the middle as well at some points. There are some really quite slow corners at Autopolis. As you are seeing, one of those slower portions right now, and they're going to unleash themselves now towards turn 11. It's at the hairpin, a good overtaking opportunity as well. As Santos now has 20 laps to go. He crosses the line just now. Although I believe that Gonzalez did put new tyres on, not seemingly making much of a difference, especially on Jesus Chirinos, who hasn't even stopped yet. Moats has, don't forget, but this was they look like stop goes sometimes, these pit stops. Now Chirinos going to come under fire from his fellow Honda driver now. Or is he? Is he going to go for the pit lane? He looked like he was pulling to the left, but he wasn't actually. Now he's going to be under a little bit of pressure. Usually ends up finishing third in championships, actually. Looking at his results. Third in the Winter Series from 2018 to 19. That was Formula E cars that year. Third in the 2019 WEC season. That was overall. He was driving in the LMP1 class. Obviously no more WEC here at IVRC. We have the American Endurance Championship instead. And I'm reliably informed that round 2 was equally as exciting as round 1 was. Here for that race at Mosport, it was good one. Yeah, round 2 was equally as entertaining. We'll be back with round 3 in a few weeks, I'm sure. I'm going to go and check on that actually. Road America. Davo Brzezinski took the win in LMP2. The AEC anyway. And it was Juan Magnus Borre with his second win in LMP2, and GTD was won by Joe Gustatis. Yeah, we'll be back in 3 weeks, I think, still. It's a long break between this race, the last race, and Laguna Seca. So a lot of racing coming up at Laguna Seca in 3 weeks' time. On the Saturday, we have the finale of the Japanese Touring Car Championship, and on this Sunday, we have the third round, the AEC. Big day coming up, and make sure that you do tune into those. Here we are then, back into turn 1 and 2. Battle between Frau and Jacek getting a little bit closer. Not entirely sure what's happened there. I may have disconnected personally there. Never a good sign. And I have. Well, I'm going to need a bit of assistance for that, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it. Right. See if I can actually join it. I'll just give you a black screen for a second. I'm sorry about this, by the way. But I'm in a bit of trouble now. Sure if I know what the password is for this. Try and find out, but not looking promising at the moment. Try and find the password for the server. Oh, the server's crashed. That's why. That will be why. There were 17 laps to go when the server crashed. but it's really going to help the likes of Mark Stwerker, this is. Because it's going to close the field up if we do indeed get a restart, or we could get half points for a half race. That would turn the championship on its head for the 52nd millionth time. This race, really. Completed, or we're on lap 26, so really, I guess we have 18 laps to go, or 17 and a half. Drivers saying that they all thought that it was them that disconnected, and I thought it was me as well, but it's indeed the server itself. Well, we're going to take another break here. If there is another update on the standings now, whether the race is called official or what is going on, I'll update you with that in just a moment. But yeah, I'm going to take a short break now, and then after this, in about 4 minutes' time, I will update you with what is going on with the server. We'll be back soon.
Stop the car, stop the car.
Welcome back to the Japanese Touring Championship here from Autopolis, currently under a temporary, we believe, red flag situation. So yeah, bring you up to date. Server crash here on lap 26 of the race of 43, meaning there'll be 17 and a half roughly laps to go in the race. So yes, we did reach half the race, and yeah, it looks like we are going to restart the race with the remaining laps of the race, which would be 18 or 17 or something. So I've just been put back in the server now, I believe. Yes, I have. There you go. Show you a bit of footage, even if it's not that exciting for the moment. You can stop looking at a back screen, which is good news. There you go. Big thanks to Carlos Frau for sorting me out with all this again this week. I'm a bit inept with these kind of things, so he needs to do things for me. I'm not very clever. But yeah, big thank you to him for setting all this up so that I can stream for you guys and commentate and whatever. Nice to be here again. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do anything last weekend that I was away, and the weekend before, unfortunately. It's nice to be back here. Hopefully, I'll be able to do some more next weekend with whatever is going on. So, yeah, Christian Alvarez, Mark Stwerker, and Thomas Ratchka will be put a lap down on this restart, so it doesn't help them entirely. However, those who didn't pit will be disadvantaged by this, as I believe that Alvarez himself has put Christian Alvarez, has pointed out himself. Field is obviously going to be closer together when this restarts, so it's a bit unfair on those guys, and he's got a point. He does. Certainly has a point. The question is 26 laps enough? That's the question. Admins will decide on this one whether reaching 25 laps complete is enough to declare a race. I presume we'd have half points in that case. Surely we can't award full points after 25 laps. And it would be a little bit unfair on those who did pit, like Bernard Motes, Angel Gonzalez, two main ones. Thinking about maybe adding a 22 to 25 second penalty to those who haven't pitted. Make things a little bit fairer, but obviously that's not the... There's no ultimate fair way to do this, of course, with a server. Peter Jones has only just realised the race was today. That's unfortunate for him. I'm sorry about that to Peter Jones. I believe he's competed here before. He did indeed run one at Suzuka in another of the Repsol cars. That's his only appearance so far. Like Sven Gilhard, actually, one appearance, one win, bowing out with 100% recorders. Now Gonzalez here on the stream just goes for a little bit of a spin. Apologies that I'm not really watching what's going on the stream right now. It's probably quite laggy actually because I've got to minimise the window, so I'm sorry about that. For the moment, it has indeed turned into a rather sticky situation. I'm going to try and find out for everyone what racing we have here next. It's not the can't be the AC. have we got an OWC race tomorrow? We have. There you go. Of course, the last race at Road America, 16th. I believe that happened, but there's no results for this yet. So yeah, racing at Mid-Ohio tomorrow for the road course. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be here. Not sure who is going to be with you for this one. I can tell you that Pedro Lopez leading Pablo Lopez by 33 points now, after a disqualification for Lopez at Texas Oval. That's really put paid to his chances, because while he was being disqualified, Pedro Lopez managed to gain 20 points on him, behind Gustavo Brzezinski, who took the win. Not sure what happened at Road America, but of course we'll update you on that and when we know. Yeah, four championships on the moment in IVRC, and bring you up to date with the Touring Car Championship. I'll do now. Well, obviously all 4 championships that we've got at the moment. We have another race. We had a race last weekend. We've got another race on the 5th of September in 2 weeks' time. In fact, this time in 2 weeks. That'll be at the Assen circuit in the Netherlands. Who's leading? Well, silly question. Mark Stuerker, of course, is leading the race. Leading that championship. He's only finished off the podium 1 time since May, which is a phenomenal record for Mark Stuerker. He has won so many touring car races. He took another victory last time out in Valencia. Took the second race win. It was Marcus Pizarro, the Argentine driver, who took the first victory. The first victory. Mark Stuerker now, in his illustrious touring car championship career, where he's picked up 3 championships, now has 39 wins, going for the 40th win in 2 weeks' time at Assen, where it's difficult to see him not taking that victory. In the JTC, only 1 win, of course, but already 2 American Endurance Championship wins and 7 in the touring car, in the World Endurance Championship. Most successful IVRC driver ever, I have to say. Trying to fight off Sven Gielhold for this championship, though, in the touring cars this year. He's got 116 points. Sven Gielhold had a pretty lackluster Valencia, but losing a lot of points in that one, I'm afraid. But we've still got races, as I said, Assen, Sweden, at a circuit I've never seen before in my life, and I'm not going to try and pronounce. Also a circuit in Lithuania, which I've never seen, and I won't try and pronounce. Likewise for one in Poland, Kielce, maybe, Tor Kielce. And then we've got Brno for round 14, and Okayama and Macau to finish, of course, on the 28th of November. That will be interesting indeed. Everyone up to date with the Touring Car Championship. That's pretty much everything that's going on in IVRC at the moment. Of course, don't forget to join us tomorrow for racing in the Open Wheel the Open Wheel Championship of Mid-Ohio. Currently watching Angel Gonzalez and Manuel Alvarez leave the pit lane in warm-up at the moment. We just wait for admins to make a decision on what's going to take place here. Carlos Frau currently typing in the Discord channel, and that's never a good sign. Joking. It's fine, really, but we're just waiting to see what he's going to say. Whether it's a cancellation of the race, whether it's a halving of the points, whether they're going to apply penalties to those who hadn't pitted yet. Who knows what's going to happen. Admin's currently having a discussion. Carlos Frau, Christian Alvarez, Mark Stuerker, all in discussion at the moment. As well as somebody else. I don't know. Not really written slightly strangely. But I'm sure it's an inside joke I'm not aware of. Gonna see possibly be going on now. This one. And all the channels that might actually provide me with the information, but no word just yet because the discussion is going on verbally. So it's not really allowed to go in there and start listening in. Plus, I can't actually. I'm gonna have to keep coming back and forth trying to relay the information. So, not gonna happen. A bit of a shame today to see that Pablo Lopez was missing. Only 15 points off the championship lead in the end here. The moment he was anyway, after his 5th place finish last round. He's one of only 2 men to have scored points in every single round so... scored points in every single round so far. Even finished every round so far. That can only be said. For Pablo Lopez and for Max Twerker, it's pretty unbeatable. If things were to stay how they were, then Stwerker would be 10th position, which is unlike him, that's for sure. With full points, he would be losing that championship lead. However, with halved points, he may get away with it. I'm not sure if that's a rule in here, though, that you can have half points. Not entirely sure. Ratchka marked on the straight at the moment. Martin Jacek. Right now. We're in warm-up. Things won't be really continued on here until we have a wording what is going to happen to this race. Then the admins are still trying to decide what's going to happen. Bit of a shame to see that server crashed here. It happened in the last JTC race, so bit of a shame, and it was developing into a good race as well, actually. A shame that it had to be cut short for that one. However, we may still get the resumption and the finish of that race. Not, then you'll have to check out the next stream for a bit of an update on what has gone on, either at the Open Wheel Championship tomorrow or the next round of the JTC in 3 weeks' time. So we will definitely update you on what actually went on. If I can get the results from last race, actually, just to run through them all, so we know everything went on. Final result. After the penalties were applied, was Carlos Frau, who managed to win from 12th on the grid, which is a very good result for him. 18 seconds the margin to Bernard Moats, who came second. Emilio Garcia, who's not here today, came third, ahead of Mark Sturka, who was a further 10 seconds back. But led 10 laps in the end as well. However, penalties were applied to him. I'll tell you what they were for. There were quite a few of them, I have to say. Qualifying, Sturka was given a 10-second penalty for cutting the track on his hot lap. Not a good look. And then in the race, we had a whole load of penalties actually, even for the race winner Frau. He got 5 seconds for extending track limits 11 times. Quite a lot. Sturka was given a 50-second penalty for extending 101 times. The only lap where he didn't extend was lap 9. 43 of the 44 laps he extended track limits. That is comfortably the most of everyone else. Fran Rodriguez managed it 77 times and Alessio Neto managed it 76, but 101 times and only one lap where there was not a cut from Mark Sturka. He was given 1 minute totaling penalties in the end. And despite winning, without that penalty, he would have won by 30 seconds and he won quite comfortably in the end. He was given 1 minute's worth of penalties, and that's really, really cost him. Pablo Lopez, fourth in the championship now, still couldn't gain points on the German. He finished fifth ahead of Jesus Chirinos, who was just over a minute back. And then it was Lázaro Teglas, Fran Rodriguez, and Alessio Neto finishing off 1 lap down. Martin Jacek and Giovanni Santos didn't make the finish in the end, actually retiring quite close together. In terms of the amount of laps they completed, Santos, a disconnection from the lead. Jacek, can't remember what happened to him, but he didn't get to the end anyway. Santos led the most laps in the end with 19, but he didn't win. And Carlos Frau didn't even lead a single lap, but he was given the race win retrospectively after the race. Other guys who were given quite a lot of penalties were, let's try and find out here, Fran Rodriguez with 40 seconds for all those cuts and Alessio Neto the same, but they were both also given another 20 seconds for crossing the white line at the exit of their pit stop. So this is the announcement from Carlos Frau now, the message from the admins. Yeah, that's why you're seeing that screen at the moment. I'll give you a black screen for now, and then we'll end the stream in a moment, because the race has been ended. Everyone who stopped will get their pit stop time removed, and full points will be awarded. So how does that change things for Mark Sturka? How does that change things for Bernard Moats? And indeed, Angel Gonzalez. So that has been it for the stream. A little bit of a shame to see the race end in that way. I'm sure this will rumble on in the next couple of days and in the next few hours as well. So keep your eyes out on all the relevant channels, Discord, and indeed the next stream as well. Yeah, make sure you keep your eyes on that one. We will be back in 3 weeks' time with the JTC for the championship finale. It's going to be so interesting to see what happens between Bernard Moats, Mark Sturka, and Carlos Frau, because they are going to be separated by less than 10 points between the three of them in the end of this. It's going to be so fascinating and so interesting to see. Make sure you join us for that one. But until tomorrow, where we have open wheel racing from Mid-Ohio, it is goodbye.